Good evening. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome to News in Focus. My name is Faraz Patel. We'd like to thank you, the viewer, for staying with us here on Hilaal TV, DSTV channel 347. Of course, the road to the journey for the Globa Sumud Flotilla continues. And of course, there are 10 South Africans that will be participating in this. Yesterday, I had a discussion with Dr. Fatima Hendricks, giving us a breakdown of how she's preparing, and of course the group of 10 South Africans are preparing. My next guest, and she wears many hats, but for this specific one, she's going to be part of the South African crew that will be going on this Globa Sumud Flotilla. Coming to us from Tunis in Tunisia, I'd like to welcome Dr. Zaheera Soomar. Doctor, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and shukran so much for joining us.
It's an honor to be here.
Absolute pleasure. Dr. Soomar, this journey for you've done a lot of climbing up mountains. You've done so many activities that humans can dare to dream. This one over here, how does it compare in terms of the preparations for this journey?
I think there's a lot of things that I could potentially take from my mountain climbing and a lot of my humanitarian missions that have probably prepared me really well for what I'm about to embark on. I was actually thinking about it this morning and thinking, subhanAllah, Allah put me in the path of climbing mountains and building resilience and preparing for those risks. And maybe this is one of the reasons why I was put on that path to kind of preparing for certain missions. This is different though. When I climb my mountain, I do it because there's a part of desire that I want, right? The freedom that I get from climbing mountains. But doing this with such a much more greater purpose. It's serving a purpose beyond. It is serving long term. It is serving history and it's serving the long term wellness, prosperity of a nation and all of our freedoms. It is so much more than one person's goal. And so, inshallah, I hope that everything else that I've done in my life prepares me well for this moment.
Doctor, this specific journey, when we look at genocide being officially declared by some of the top genocide scholars, probably something we already knew 1.5 years ago. But when we see the importance of this mission from not just a Muslim perspective, from a humanitarian perspective, how important is it?
Yes, it's extremely important. I think I would sum it up by saying that this is not the first genocide that's taking place. And it might not be the last if you look at England. But the story of what happened in Palestine and the history of Palestine is one of the most important narratives around secular colonial oppression, apartheid, genocide, starvation, famine that we had in history, right? I mean, we come from a country with our own historical background, with Serbia, with Somalia, with Rwanda, all of these countries. But the story of Palestine and the history of Palestine is not just paramount for the people of Palestine. It is paramount for all of us that face colonialism in this world and have faced colonialism in this world. And I think the way I would sum it up is that genuinely, truly, and honestly, we, all of us, we will not be free from oppression in any way or form, in public spaces, professional spaces, personal spaces, political spaces. We, all of us, will not be free until Palestine is free. And so this fight for Palestinian freedom is a fight for our own freedom as well. That's why it is so.
Doctor, I've been following some of your feeds on Instagram and other social media handles, and one of the important aspects that you've always mentioned is that the humanitarian part of this. As a mother yourself, as just a human being, I take away the Muslim perspective because, of course, within Islam, being a human is part of us. But when you see the suffering that is going on, when you see basic amenities which are being denied by the Palestinians, this man-made starvation, it makes this journey even more impactful, doesn't it? That you're about to change the life of one Palestinian person of Gaza. And how important does that become for you personally?
It's very personal, Raj. I know. Yesterday I was talking about this, and I said I picture my children. These are not my children. Um, and what if it was my child that was being served? What if it was my child that was being put through a man-made famine? What if it was my child that was being tortured, or their legs were bombed off, or they were, injured, or they were killed, or they lost their parents? What if it was my child? What would I expect of this world? What would I want him to do? How much, to what length would I expect him to go? Not just for a single person. And that's what I think about when I think about this. Even if it's one person. We have a duty. We have a moral duty. I put myself in those shoes and I put my children in those shoes. And I act with that in mind. And it's hugely personal because today somebody might need me and tomorrow I might need them or my children and future might need them. And so I've got to do everything that I possibly can. We all have to do everything that we possibly can. One day we might need that thing.
After the break, I continue my conversation with Dr. Soomar. We are going to be looking ahead to this journey that she's about to take on. But it's not just her, it's 9 other South Africans that are going to go ahead and be part of it. My conversation continues after the break. Welcome back to News in Focus. I'm still in conversation with Dr. Zaheera Soomar, who's going to be one of the 10 South Africans that will be going on the Globa Sumud Flotilla. Again, shukran so much for staying with us, Dr. Soomar. And I know we are taking a lot of your time because you're busy training and looking ahead to this. Dr. Soomar, I know you haven't been in the country for quite a while. You a lot of the time outside of South Africa. But how good is it to be amongst your fellow South Africans on such an important journey?
There's nothing as honorable and as peace and as warm as being among South Africans. The spirit of South Africans are unmatched. And I can tell you that being in India, while we only have 10 representatives from South Africa and there are 40 other countries being represented, the South Africans, the Ubuntu-ness, our strengths, our history, it stands out. I am so proud, honestly, to be a South African, and I'm so proud to be here representing South Africa.
Dr. Soomar, I want to speak on the dangers that you could potentially face. I had the very same conversation with Dr. Fatima Hendricks yesterday, and she said that, look, it's incumbent on states to protect its citizens. Now, you've climbed 3 of the world's 7 summits. That's as daring, that's as challenging, that's as dangerous as you can get. But of course, I'm sure nothing will prepare you for potentially what the Israeli occupation forces may go ahead and present to you. When you saw what happened with the Handala and the Madeleine, these drones that were flying around, the abduction of many of the crew members, is that something that you are prepared for, given that this is the Israeli occupation forces we're talking about? Even though there's going to be more than one boat, there's actually going to be a fleet of boats that will be part of this.
Yes, we prepared for a number of different scenarios that take place. In fact, we actually in Tunis. And just before I spoke to you, I was in a session where we were talking about a variety of different scenarios. What are the livelihoods of a different scenario? What's the package of which scenario? And what do we do in the livelihood of each scenario? So we are preparing ourselves for potentially whatever foresight you can have. This is a new territory, though. Maybe in the history of flotillas that have gone to Gaza, there have never been this amount of flotillas going. So it is slightly new terrain that is being charted here, which means whatever we face might be new terrain as well. And we've got an amazing legal team and an amazing team working behind the scenes to try and prepare all of us for whatever is going to come our way. It's not Allah, and Allah Let it help it protect.
I mean, Doc, the narrative of savior, when I spoke to Dr. Hendricks, she had said, we don't want to be seen as saviors. We want to be seen as citizens doing our duty. Is that something that you are relating to also at this time, knowing that the people of Gaza, the Palestinian people of Gaza, just need a human to go ahead and give them the basic amenities that we all deserve in this world?
100%. We are not saviors. We are not heroes. I'm a human being. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. And I am trying to take baby formula to little kids who are starving in Gaza. That's war. There's no heroism here. There's no saviorness here. We are doing what our governments are meant to do. We are just ordinary citizens. That's it.
And I mean, the fact that, this is being done by ordinary citizens, how much of an impact is this, Dr. Soomar? Dr. Soomar?
Sorry, say that again.
I was just saying the fact that this is being done by ordinary citizens, what does it speak about global humanity as a whole?
I don't know. I feel like we lost. I feel like the people who we are supposed to trust to have our care and to be protecting us and to have our best interests at heart, our government, United Nations, where are they? What are they doing? Where are they?
Dr. Soomar, all the best ahead of your trip. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you the success. May He take you safely into Gaza and may He bring you back safely home. We appreciate the time that you have given us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That is Dr. Zaheera Soomar, who's going to be conducting this trip as part of the 10 South Africans that will be going ahead. It is a dangerous trip. And what makes it dangerous is that, of course, these are boats. These are not big cruise ships where they have the luxury of a pool, a dining hall, a room where there's entertainment. No, it's a flotilla boat. Basic amenities are there, the food, the drink, the toilet utilities that are there. That's about it. There's nothing comfortable when it comes to having yourself a good time when you're on the seas. No. And it's the Mediterranean Sea, because this very same sea has its challenges. Rough seas, winds, potential rains, which makes navigating on these waters very, very difficult. I am no sea expert. I am no nautical expert. That's guaranteed. I don't have those skills. I just like to put myself in the shoes of these very same people who are daring to dream. I couldn't even do or dare to do what they're about to do. And they're about to do something that no Western government is doing at this very moment. No government across the world is doing. And that is delivering aid to the people of Gaza. That man-made starvation that is being currently conducted has put so much on the people of Gaza. And here we have a few hundreds of citizens that are about to dare to go ahead and deliver this aid. And this is a momentous time in the world, because even if they do get stopped by the Israeli occupation forces, which is probably going to be the case, they've attempted something. And that attempt needs to be lauded, and that attempt needs to be praised. And we hope that not only the 10 South Africans, but all those who are taking part, from Greta Thunberg to Yusuf Omar to Susan Sarandon, will be able to go ahead and deliver the aid to the people of Gaza. After the break, I'll be speaking to Professor Amira Osman. While the genocide in Gaza is happening, Sudan is currently being engulfed in a civil war. Turco last week released a press statement saying that there needs to be a Sudanese-led dialogue so that there can be peace within Sudan. This comes after Al-Fashar, an area within northern Darfur, came under heavy attacks from the Rapid Support Forces, which is, of course, led by General Hamdani. And this is, of course, a long-standing civil war that has continued since 2023, and there seems to be no end in sight to it. Professor Osman is a Sudanese citizen here in South Africa, and we're going to be getting her thoughts with regards to that. That conversation will be after the break.